It's Black History Month, representation is everything. Happy Black History Month, child, to all my fellow brothers and sisters out there. Now, since it's Black History Month, I wanted to go through shows that I haven't seen, some newer shows, some older shows, and just give my recap, my review of the show, of the characters, of the storyline, etc. I don't care if they have been canceled or not. I don't care if they just give the people one season, because they love to give the black shows just one season. At the most three. At the most three, and then it's a wrap. They cut the girls off. So many amazing shows. I mean, we have Harlem. I'm going to do everything in my power to try to get Harlem back on Prime. Harlem is an incredible show. It needs to be seen. We need those characters. We need Quinn. We need Camille. We need Angie. We need Ty. We need the characters. We need Ian. We need Dr. Pruitt. Who else we got? We need Aunt Tammy, Bevy Smith. We need the people, child. We need the show. So anyway, in honor of Black History Month, I wanted to do that and just, y'all, so just stay tuned, child. It's going to be whatever I want to talk about. The dog got fired from her job. Yes. Y'all know her is used loosely. And there we go. Maybe they let the dog go. It's fine. Because, I got my Ninja Turtle shirt, so I'm going to be all right. Anyway, Clean Slate. Clean Slate is a show that premiered on Amazon Prime recently, starring George Wallace, legendary comedian and actor, and Laverne Cox, actress from The Orange is the New Black, trans woman of African descent. Now, where do I want to go with this review? I can go pretty much everywhere. Do I want to give the whole... Yeah, I'm going to give it away. It's out there now. So I want y'all to go and watch Clean Slate. All around, I think it's a good show. And I hope it has more seasons, because it has the potential to be big. Right? So I didn't know anything about this until I saw on Facebook. I saw a poster about it. And it was like, Clean Slate coming to Amazon Prime. I didn't know anything about it. And then it dropped and I watched it and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Basically the premise of the show is it's set in Mobile, Alabama. Mobile, Alabama is where Laverne Cox is from originally. And it kind of has a Sanford and Son type feel. Is set in Mobile, Alabama, and basically the premise of the show is we have Desiree Slate. She is a trans woman. She's been gone from her hometown for over 20 years. She left as a teenager, went to New York. She ran, I believe, was an art museum, I believe. She's a painter. She's an artist. And she ran into a couple of not so good guys. One of those guys' name is Gavin. And he is a trip. I'm assuming maybe he's her sponsor. He goes and bye. Shouts out to Tia Marie. I'm assuming maybe he's her sponsor, and he's probably just a guy that helped her along the way financially, and probably was a con artist and all the things. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Gavin on the show, whoever this Gavin character is. But anyway, she came back home. Her mom passed away. So she came back home to announce her rebirth, so to speak, to her father. And she goes, "Oh, well, I'm your daughter." He didn't know who it was until he realized that what used to be his son is now his daughter. And there you go. She just showed up, out of nowhere. Which is rather interesting. I wish we saw, well, I guess we have time, right? But I really do wish we saw maybe like a little bit of a timeline to see exactly when did the mom pass, why did she pass, the circumstances they were going through, just a little bit of her childhood before she just showed up on the doorstep. I felt like it just would have made more sense in that part. It's a very church going town. One of their neighbors is I forgot her name, but one of their neighbors is Telma Hopkins, Aunt Rachel from Family Matters, and Half and Half. I love her. Shouts out to her. First of all, shouts out to all the actors that are above the age of 50 to still out here acting. And I'm not saying that's old, but what I'm saying is sometimes, especially in the Hollywood industry, they tend to throw you away when you reach a certain age, especially out here with women. They do women that way in particular. You know, they fun and hot, you know, and sexy when they're young, but then as they age, they tend to, push them to the side and move in the next batch of young girls. And that's not right, and that's not okay, because talent is timeless. And baby, you're a legend. The only other option is for any of us is to get older, unless you kick the bucket. So shouts out to Telma Hopkins. I've always loved her. I think she's hilarious, and she is the same spicy, person that she's always been. And so I enjoy that. Now her son Lewis, which is Desiree's best friend, he's gay, and he has taken over he is the choir director, leader of the choir in the church, and he is a very he's in the closet pretty much. Even though everybody knows his tea, he's never expressed his tea out loud and told everybody. So he's hiding, but Desiree is who she is. She's very much out and expressive, and his best friend Desiree coming back into town is making him open up a lot more. So George Wallace, Harry, he owns a car wash. His main go-to guy is a guy named Mac, this white guy, and Mac has a daughter named Opal. Opal is that girl. She's smart. She's funny. She's very intuitive. She's very just connected with everything. She's one of those grown kids, when your mom and them used to say, stay in the child's place. She's one of those kids that, she want to sit at the table with adults, because intellectually she's that girl, right? But you still a child, and stay in the child's place and go on over there and play, right? So that's Opal's tea. Now, we don't know what happened with Opal's mom, but I'm interested to see what happens with that. But apparently, Mac explains to Desiree that they're both just troubled people, and the mama is wherever she is. So apparently, when Mac got out of jail, he got custody of the daughter somehow, that's kind of unheard of, right? You fresh out of jail, and then, but apparently the mama left and went AWOL. And so I guess that's why they gave the rights to him. But I don't think the mom is deceased. So we'll see. I'm assuming maybe, bad drug history or something like that. I don't know. Well, we'll see. It's so many different ways the show can go if they give it a season 2. I hope it does. I hope they do. So Desiree, she's just trying to find her footing in back in her small town that she hasn't visited in 20 plus years. Mac has a thing for Desiree. Yes. He likes the girls. And Desiree's not really feeling him. She's ran into all kind of shady dudes, and she's just not really feeling it with him right now. And she just wants it's a clean slate. She just wants a clean slate, a fresh, brand new moment. But one thing that is, that reminds her of why she left is the church. Pastor Hughes, is, one of those good old homophobic, pastors, child, that we all, a lot of us have, we know about, let's just say that, is familiar with. And one thing that was very clear was, when church is over, everybody gets up and greets the pastor. So he kisses and hugs the ladies in the church. And with the men, he gave him a handshake. But when it came to Laverne, she went to go give him a hug, and he knocked her hand down and shook her hand, because he remembers her when she was her former self. And So it's a whole thing. But that the daddy get involved. He's taking up for Laverne, Desiree, and the neighbor, Aunt Rachel. I'm gonna say that till I learn her character's name. But she's taking up for him now. Her friend Louis, which is Aunt Rachel's son, he's not really feeling it because her being so out and about is kind of blowing his cover. But the cover's already blown up, child. We already know, child. So it's very interesting, like watching their dynamic and their friendship kind of bounce, back and forth, because Desiree has accepted everything that she is, and she's allowing, she's allowing the town to catch up with her, so to speak. But it's kind of the opposite for Louis. So she gets them told about jumping in her business and all the things, but it didn't really get settled. But Pastor Hughes kind of calmed down a little bit about Desiree being a part of the church. Baby, when Laverne walked in there with that peach suit on in the church house, I said, yes, God. She was giving me everything I needed. Yes, she was. And so that was fun. One thing that's very fun to me, those last 2 episodes was really good. There was an episode when they went to a gay bar, Louis and Desiree, and they meet this other trans woman, and they decide to go to downtown, which is a bigger scene, more to do, etc. Laverne meets younger trans women. They thought she was 60. I was hollering. And, Laverne had this flex on them. She's like, wait a minute, little girls. Let me show y'all what it really is. It was fun because this is how we do it. While Montel Jordan came on. And, that's the girls' era. Desiree and I forgot her name, but the other lady that she met at the bar, the older lady, they was jamming to get in their life. And the younger girls is just like, oh, we don't dance to music that that was before us. I was hollering. I said it was a mess. Those girls end up taking the keys, driving off in Desiree's car. It was just a whole mess. Had to drop the car back off at the daddy's car wash. It was craziness. It was pure craziness, but it was just such a fun episode to watch. And it's nice to see Harry, George Wallace's character, him embracing his daughter and him accepting her pronouns and really trying his best as an old school Black man from the South, who's of a certain age. That is not an easy thing to do. Sometimes as LGBT people, we forget people can only give you what they got, how they were raised, their experiences, etc. And moving on to more of a new or updated kind of thinking is difficult for a person who's always seen you in their entire life a certain way. But she made him put money in a jar every time that that he referred to her as her old name. It was funny. And child, she was rich by the time the thing was over with. I was screaming. There's also a character, Miguel, who stays on the other side of Harry and Desiree. And he is a Latina guy. And him and Harry don't like each other, don't get along because Harry hosts Game of Dungeons and Dragons night. And it's big cars everywhere, all in the parking lot. And it irritates Harry or whatever. It's rather interesting. One thing I do want them to dive into the show more about, and like I said, hopefully they have a season 2 because I feel like they will, but you just never know. You just never know. It's so many amazing Black shows that they only gave 1 season to on Prime, on all the apps, and it's a shame. But yeah, hopefully they come back because they can explore a lot more of that. And I know it's set to be, I guess, now in today's time. But there's still a lot of homophobia. There's a lot of homophobia. One thing I appreciated, though, that was very important, that it was an episode where they voted. And they showed the true pillars of the community, which is Black women, in particular older Black women. When it come time to vote, when it comes time to uplift the community, when it comes time to who's standing out there and doing their thing and representing all of us as Black women. So I'm glad that they showed that, and it was a very powerful moment of seeing all those church mothers come up there, walk, indeed, because the police took their van. And seeing them walk into the voters' registration was a very powerful moment. I love that. I love the fact that the church mothers are accepting of Laverne, Desiree, and all that, because that's not always the truth either. So it's certain things that I'm glad they're showing it in a more positive way, in the way that it's supposed to be, but that's not always reality still. So like I said, it'll be interesting to see what they do for season 2, and hopefully they get one. Let me see. Anything else I want to talk about? At the end, so there's a new character that was introduced, this lady, which is one of the neighbors. She, her daughter plays with Opal, which is Mac's daughter. And I think her name is Rhonda, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, Mac and Rhonda is kind of getting together, trying to do some things after Desiree had turned Mac down. And so Desiree was having a horrible day. She went over to Mac's house. The lady ran out, and he was offended by Desiree, basically saying that, you know, she's too good for him. So then Mac finally went over to Desiree's house, and they were kissing, and then here come the daddy, child. And the daddy, George Wallace, and Thelma Hopkins, is Aunt Rachel is hooking up. So it's a lot going on. And then Gavin is standing behind the daddy, child. It is a lot going on. Listen, Clean Slate on Amazon Prime. Make sure you guys watch it with Laverne Cox, Thelma Hopkins, George Wallace. It is such a good show. I really enjoy it. I really do. They can go anywhere. There's so many different directions they can go storyline-wise for season 2. So hopefully it comes back, darling. With that said, I'm Mrchalaki. Mrchalaki on Google+. Follow me at @itskinsworld on Instagram and Twitter, at @itskinsworld89 on Snapchat, Chase King on Facebook, Mrchalaki on Cash App, PayPal, and TikTok. And as always, run me my money or run me my fade. Run me my money the way I get paid. Stay black, stay tuned, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.